All right, fellas, let's get right into it. Listen, some of y'all be pissing me off. Listen, if you do not post content, if you do not get chicks, and if you're out of shape, why are you commenting? Why are you even talking? All right, you can't relate to any of the shit I say. None of it is directed towards you. That's number one. All right. Number two, someone said some dumb shit about, oh my god, there is no such thing as body game. Just kidding. Three people said that shit in the comments. They're like, there's no such thing as body game. Some other dude was like, it's just about your if you're handsome or not. Just all this dumb shit. All right. You guys don't know because you guys obviously don't have experience. Please do not talk if you don't have experience. Why do you talk about things you don't have experience with? All right. And the person who said that, oh my god, like your physique doesn't matter. I just know you literally do not get chicks, but I just don't know why you're commenting on my shit. Go comment on someone else's stuff, or make your own content and talk about why why people or why your body doesn't matter, and we'll see how much traction you get. Probably none because you're fucking lying. All right, so let's get right into it. We're gonna talk about the uncomfortable truth about attracting women. All right. Like I said, those of you who have not been on body game, or those of you who have been out of shape then got in shape, you already know that the shit is way fucking different, right? When you get in shape, shit changes. It fucking matters. It matters. All NFL players, majority NFL players, majority soccer players, all those dudes are in shape. Soccer players always got the baddest, chicks, and they don't simp like NBA players do. Not gonna lie. Anyways, here is why your physique is holding you back, guys. All right, a lot of you guys try to overcompensate for lack of genuine desire. Where does genuine desire come from? It comes from your aura, it comes from your physique. One of the things that, you know, give you that genuine desire, gives you more wiggle room, it gives women more attraction to you is gonna be you have that V cut, you have your abs, or you have chest, you have shoulders, you just have a respectable physique, right? You actually work out, you get in shape, but also actually going to the gym is going to make sure that you have discipline, and discipline is attractive as well. Obviously, you're going to have more testosterone when you're working out and building muscle. It is what it is. All right, people who are out of shape, they're usually lazy, bad posture, they don't command presence, they don't have discipline. That is just not attractive in any aspect of life. No one's inspired by people who don't have discipline. Chicks are obviously not going to be attracted to people who don't have discipline. It's that simple. Yet people without discipline comment dumb shit like, "Oh, your physique doesn't matter." It's because they don't have discipline and they're not getting chicks, so I don't know why they're commenting. Crazy shit. A good physique is a sign of self-respect. It's that simple. How do I know you respect yourself? How does a chick know you respect yourself? Your physique. All right. When your physique is in shape, it's like, oh yeah, that dude definitely takes care of himself. Like all these choosing signals and shit, they don't happen when you go to the gym once and then you start looking around. They happen when you're so focused on yourself, you're becoming the best version of yourself, and you keep elevating, and you focus on a goal, and you're accomplishing all the goals that you're actually putting your mind on. Right. That focused energy is literally the most attractive thing out there, right? Like when you have that focus energy, that aura, the purpose in everything that you do, it's just you're literally gonna look different in the gym. Like when you're when you go to the gym, right, and you're doing what you need to do, you're doing the workouts that you need to do, you're always executing, you're always in and out. You're not there to holler at chicks like a lot of dudes do. You're not there to stare at chicks like a lot of dudes do. That's when chicks start to approach you, right? That's when chicks really start to come up to you and approach you because they're like, yo, this guy is different, right? He's focused. He looks better than everybody else, but he's more focused on his workouts and he's about his business. He's in and out and he has goals because I seen him. He looked a little bit bigger. Now he looks leaner. You know what I mean? So chicks notice that shit, right? Period. All right. Like I said, what do women notice first? What do they find attractive first? Yes, your physique will get you in the door and shit like that. It'll give you more wiggle room, right? Of course, aura and all that other stuff is gonna matter too. You not being desperate and a simp and all that shit's gonna matter too. But if you don't have a physique, if you look like this, which a lot of people look like this to be honest, if you look like this, then chicks are automatically disqualifying you, right? Unless you just go out of your way and you spend more on them than other dudes. You know what I mean? And a lot of dudes are doing that pay for play shit, and they're like, "Oh, let me cash up her 5,000," and she might not, she might have a man already. Like I remember I was dating some chick, and she would have dudes cash app her and shit like that. And she had a job. She was making good money. She was on a travel contract. She was making good money. But dudes were just cash apping her because she put in her story like cash at me. And they just cash apped her because they thought they would have a chance with her. It doesn't work like that, all right? Listen, if you leave with money, that's all women are going to use you for. But that's not going to give you the genuine desire. And it doesn't guarantee anything, anyways, right? A lot of you guys think that, oh, it's all about money, it's all about height. Listen, a chick gets around a 5'5", super masculine dude who stands on business, who doesn't fuck around, or a 5'7", super masculine dude who's in shape, who doesn't fuck around, she's fucking with that, all right? Now, A lot of you guys get confused with the social media shit because you guys listen too much to what chicks say. Like I said, don't just listen to what they say, watch what they do. But a lot of you guys literally only listen to what they say, right? And you're like watching social media and you don't get out in the field, so you don't actually watch what they do. If there's a 5'7", 5'8" dude out there that's like in good shape, in great shape, you know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna lie, when you're 5'7", 5'8", you can have that really good V-tape or steroid look with the big shoulders, right? But yeah, and you stand on business and shit like that, and you got, that masculine aura and shit like that. Like, you guys know what I'm talking about. That person is gonna be who chicks want over some dude who's 6'2" and goofy or some shit like that. You know what I mean? That simple. I was listen. My height didn't change. My physique changed. All right. My height didn't change. My physique changed. I was just another goofy nigga bitches disrespected till I got my shit together and I focused on myself. It's that simple. I didn't grow taller. I didn't change my genetics. You feel me? It's literally the aura and the physique that matters. Because women notice that confident aura, that physical presence. They notice that shit. All right. When you walk into a room and you're the fittest dude in there. Now I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, this is so corny. That's not true. You're probably just not fit. It's okay. It's all right. But in reality, when you walk into a room and you're the fittest guy in there, you have that, you have that look, you have that presence, that energy, that aura. People are gonna gravitate to you. Chicks are gonna give you the choosing signals. Obviously, dudes are gonna ask you questions like, "Oh, how'd you get like this? How'd you get like that?" Like it matters, right? People are gonna respect you and shit like that. You know what I mean? And because they know that your physique obviously means that every day you're paying attention to what you eat, and every week you're going to the gym multiple times, right? And that you're progressively overloading. That's what a good physique represents. That's all discipline. Most people don't have that shit. Most people don't have discipline. When I woke up today, most people didn't have discipline. When I woke up yesterday, most people didn't have discipline. When I wake up in 5 years, most people won't have discipline. It's just how it is. Most people they can't do it, right? They have the motivation temporarily, and then when it comes down to it, they're like, oh, this hunger pain, I'm not doing it. So when you have that good physique, that means you can take your mind further than other people, but that also means you have that self confidence because you could confide in yourself. Y'all don't realize. I don't know why you guys ask me shit like, where does the self confidence come from? It comes from the fucking journey, bro. You set out a goal that doesn't exist. You said, "Oh, I'm gonna gain 20 pounds of muscle." That doesn't exist at the moment. You're skinny right now, and then you gain that 20 pounds of muscle because you did what you said you were gonna do. That's where you get the confidence from. You're 100 pounds overweight, and you're like, "I'm gonna see my abs one day." That shit doesn't exist. It doesn't make sense. No one believes in you. You go through the journey, and then you can see your abs. You feel me? You're down 120 pounds, some shit like that. That's gonna give you confidence because that's gonna give you that self confidence because you did what you said you were gonna do. All right, that's that internal work. You did what you said you were gonna do. Most people don't do what they say they're gonna do. They lie to themselves every fucking day. Most people lie to themselves every day. Hey man, yeah man, I'm gonna listen. Let me tell you some lies that people have. They're never gonna fucking act on. Yeah man, I'm gonna move out the country. Most people aren't gonna do that shit. It's just not gonna happen. People are like, yeah man, bro, I'm really gonna start pulling up on chicks when I lose like another percent body fat. People aren't gonna do that shit. Man, I'm really gonna get lean this year. This is my year. Most people aren't gonna do that shit. Man, I'm gonna leave this job. This shit pissing me off. Most people aren't gonna do that shit. Man, I'm gonna leave this girl, bro. She cheated on me twice. They're gonna stay with her. You feel me? Like most people don't do what they say they're gonna do. They lie to themselves every fucking day, and they wonder why they don't have self confidence or self esteem. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people are in relationships where they get disrespected by their wife constantly, and they're like, "Dang man, like that's not right. Like, I'm gonna leave her," and they never leave her, which is a sign that they don't respect themselves if they stay somewhere where they get disrespected 24/7. All right, aesthetics over being swole. All right, now you can be swole. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about like Ronnie Coleman, like nasty shit like that. Ronnie Coleman's disgusting ass physique. I'm talking about shit like that. You don't want to be like just big as shit like that. It's absolutely disgusting. You want to have some muscle mass. Yeah, you can be swole. Honestly, you can have some size. That's cool or whatever. But you just want to have a good amount of muscle mass. Not like I said, not Ronnie Coleman muscle mass because that just scares everybody where you look like a freak, right? This is like the most muscle mass with low body fat that you want right here. This is pretty solid. Not gonna lie, it's pretty solid. But I mean, I think he's on gear or some shit. But anyways, just a little bit of muscle mass like boxers, like CrossFit athletes, things like that. You know what I mean? Have a good balanced physique, good shoulder waist ratio, right? Simple. All right. And I'm not saying that you don't want to have no muscle mass, like just super super skinny. You want to have some muscle mass. All right. Now, what I am saying is that very basic shit here that some of you guys will somehow disagree with. Women prefer the Brad Pitt Troy physique over Jabba the Hutt. Most of you guys look like Jabba the Hutt. Let's just keep it a buck. All right. Now, I wouldn't know that because guess what? I'm not, you know, I'm not able to see behind your no profile pics. All right. But I can tell by your comments. I can tell by people's comments and how they talk about stuff and say stuff. that they get no hoes and they're fat as shit and they beat their meat all the time. I could tell off rip when someone says some shit like, "Hey, body game doesn't exist," or "Chicks don't care about the body." I know you don't get chicks, and I know you're fat as shit every single time. Or like, "Your calorie deficit doesn't work." I know you're fat as shit every time. All right, chicks are gonna prefer Hisoka's physique over Maluki's. Now, if you don't know what Hisoka's physique is, Greed Island, bro, he was actually pretty aesthetic. He was actually pretty aesthetic, pretty sus, but aesthetic. And then yeah, Maluki is what's his name's brother? Killua's fat brother. All right. Muscle retention is going to equal aesthetic. So while you're losing the fat, I know a lot of you guys are like, "I'm skinny fat, I'm this, I'm that." It depends on how skinny fat you are. But if you're skinny fat and you eat at like maintenance, you should be gaining muscle and losing fat, right? Because you've never lifted consistently before. But if you're super fat and have some muscle, which a lot of people are, then while you're cutting, you should be lifting heavy and retaining majority of your muscle. That's what's going to give you your aesthetics when you get leaner. Now, the specific weight you get to is probably going to be higher than you think it was going to be. But since you maintain most of your muscle, you're going to look more shredded. You're going to look more aesthetic. Realize that fat loss and weight loss are not the same thing. I made a video about that like 5 times, so go ahead and type that into the search bar if you guys are like trying to see the difference between fat loss and weight loss. But that's what this is about. Being aesthetic is about focusing on weightlifting, focusing on maintaining your strength, and losing fat. Now, you can lose fat and get shredded without cardio if your nutrition is on point, right? But most people's nutrition won't be on point. But if your nutrition is on point and you're lifting heavy and you're maintaining the calorie deficit, yes, you're going to lose hella fat. All right, it is what it is. And being consistent, lifting heavy as a natural, it's not optional. You must do it. All right. Now, heavy is not objective. It's subjective. It's what's heavy for you. It's what challenges you. You want to challenge yourself. I'm not saying like because there's obviously people on TikTok that will say, "Hey, if you don't bench 315, you're weak." Right? Maybe 185 is heavy as shit for you, so you're repping 135, right? But during your cut, you get up to repping 155. That's heavy for you. That's good. That's progress. All right. Simple shit. And yeah, the reason we want to focus on compound lifts is because it's going to incorporate the most muscles, especially if you're like a beginner, right? So you'll get gains a little bit. You'll get gains a little bit faster because you're working more muscles. Like barbell, if you're doing a barbell row versus a machine row, and you're a beginner, you're working your lower back, you're working your core as well, some bicep action, all that shit. You feel me? Not only your lats and serratus and all that other shit. You're working a lot more. All right, so fat equals weak signal. Obviously, like when you're fat, that means you don't have discipline. That means you lie to yourself every day. That means you can't commit to something, right? And listen. Chicks are much smarter than we are, or like more not like smarter, but they're more like in tune with this stuff and they're more aware of this stuff. Because when I talk to most chicks, they know this shit. When I talk to most dudes, they don't know shit like this. As soon as a chick sees that you're out of shape, she knows you don't get bitches, bro. Like off rip, bro. She knows you don't get bitches. Now, if she sees you're out of shape with some drip and you're like, you're leading with your money, she's like, "Oh, okay, this is a trick." You see what I'm saying? Like chicks know that you guys act like I don't know why, but chicks date more than guys do. So you should be aware that chicks are aware of this shit. Like they know when you're out of shape, you're cooked. They already know. Off rip. If you carry yourself good, you got a good physique and shit like that. They're like, "Oh, okay, this dude gets bitches." Like they already know. Versus, matter of fact, I get like that's usually how with chicks open conversation with me. They're like, "Oh yeah, you probably have hellos and shit like that because of the way you carry yourself and you're in shape. When you're out of shape, chick is not gonna respond to, and she's not gonna say, "Oh, you look like you have hella hoes." She already knows you don't. She already knows you don't. If you look like this, chick, you don't have to say anything. There's no need to say anything. Like, and a lot of you guys are in the comment section, and you're like, "Nah, man, I'm kind of fat. I'm this, I'm that." Bro, you don't have to say anything. You walk in the room, everyone knows that you eat like shit. Everyone knows that you don't commit to yourself, and you probably hate yourself because your body is a physical manifestation of your mindset. So if you look like fat slob, that means you hate yourself. It is what it is. It's not that deep. It's not deep. It's not complicated at all. All right. Don't get into like, "Oh, but your genetics," and like some people have. No, the fuck you don't. But like I have. No, you don't. It's not your genetics, bro. You're eating more food than I am. You're eating 2 times the amount of food I am. And back to what I said about you can eat 7,000 calories, bro. Like I said, I can eat 7,000 calories for a week. So can anyone else who's lean, right? And then they get right back on track and they'll still be lean, right? The way you got to the fat that you have is that you've eaten like shit for so long that you built up insulin resistance, right? From years of eating a bunch of shit in a calorie surplus. So you gain 100 pounds, built up some insulin resistance, but you continue to eat more too. That's how you get fat. There's no other way. You're not getting fat by under consuming. All right, simple. So when you have that lean muscular build, it's associated with success, leadership, and confidence. All right. And one more thing is that the confidence shit can't be fake, bro. When you become proficient at something, like, for example, I always like to use boxing. All right. First 3 times on the heavy bag, I look like a little bitch, right? Yesterday, I was a little bit more confident because I was a little better at some of the combinations, right? So I had a little bit more confidence there. If you played wide receiver in high school, you played any position in high school. The first time you run a route, you're gonna look horrible, right? First year, freshman year. By senior year, after you went to camps, after you've done 4 years of footwork, ladder drills, running routes, obviously watching different routes. Now you're running routes like Jeremiah Smith, and people are like, "Dang, bro! Like, how did he get like that, bro? He's so confident." You become confident when you're proficient at something. So when you have proficiency in like business, in the gym because you've been consistent and you've seen results, that gives you real confidence. All right, it's not fake confidence; it's real fucking confidence. All right, a fit physique is going to equal respect. Obviously, people who aren't fit get offended. Like, I remember the first time I said this shit on YouTube, someone was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna respect you because you're in shape." It's like, what? Like, I talk about, listen, I'm talking about real life. I'm not talking about this internet shit because I know a lot of people on the internet are out of shape and they hate seeing people who are in shape and who have like some following because they're like, that's not fair. I deserve a following, but they're fat as hell and they can't commit to eating, in a deficit. Like it's just stupid. All right, but in real life, because that's what I'm talking about, and online. Fit physique equals respect, except from male haters. All right, lifting weights, lowering your body fat's gonna mean, like I said earlier, higher testosterone, hormonal balance. You're not gonna have a bunch of estrogen and titties. You feel what I'm saying? Better posture, obviously. And listen, as a fit dude, bro, like I don't know a lot of non-steroid using people who hover around 10% body fat year round. I don't know a lot of non-steroid using people who do that shit in reality, right? I just don't. I just don't. And not including like men's physique or like non-bodybuilder, non-men's physique, non-athletes that like stay around like 10% and stay lean and stay locked in. I don't know a lot of those people. There's just not a lot, bro. So you like when you go to the gym, when people DM you, when you see comments and people those people aren't fit, you already know it's like, yeah, this shit's rare because you have to actually make it part of your life. Like it's part of your identity. You're not temporarily being fit and sometimes being fit and sometimes like, you know what? I don't feel like going to the gym. Let me take a month off. We don't do that shit. It's part of our lifestyle. All right. Now, how to become magnetic. All right. Listen, this is the number one oral farmer of all time. If you guys know about Rich Fronings's back to back to back years, man, this dude was beating Jason Khalipa out there, bro. That shit was crazy, man. That shit was crazy. But anyways, before you speak, your body already does. All right. Like you look like this, you don't have to say shit. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying most of you guys won't look like this, obviously. But if you have a good shoulder waist ratio and you walk in somewhere, that makes you rare. It does. All right. Now, if you're someone and you're like, nah, bro, I see like 20 lean people, every day. You might be in a leaner area, but 20 out of how many people? If you live in New York City, the population's 16 million, so you're gonna see more lean people, but the ratio and the percentage will be the same. All right, it's gonna be the same percentage. If you live in Houston, you're gonna see a lot of lean people, but the percentage is gonna be the same. Simple. But yeah, like I said, before you speak, your body already does. All right. All of you guys are like, what's the pickup line? What do I say to her? What do I say? Bro, if you're fat as shit, if you actually do have to listen to her standards. You actually might have to listen to when she says, you better buy me a Birkin because you actually are going to have to get her attention because that bitch doesn't want you. Genuine desire is not going to be there. So you actually have to do the stuff on her standards list. You better be a man of Christ and you better, buy her a trip and send her a cash app and a Birkin bag before you even say hi. Like you're gonna have to do those things because you're cooked. All right. Because like I said, your body's gonna speak before you do. So yeah, if you walk into a bar and you're in shape, you got a clean cut. You know what I'm saying? You've been to the bar before. The bartender knows you and you get your usual drink. A chick's gonna be like, oh, okay, who is this smooth guy? Who's this good, good looking dude? Because no matter what you think, I don't know why you guys think this love is blind and all this goofy shit. Chicks are attracted to physiques, obviously. It is what it is, all right? Like I said, sharp haircut, groom facial hair, very simple. Like, there's no reason that some people ask me stuff and they're like, yeah, man, like this is that. And I look and I'm like, dude, you look crusty as shit, bro. I'm not even gonna I'm not even gonna look at your physique. You just look crusty as hell, bro. Like, clean up your look. Now, if you're going for like a roughneck look, that you can do that too, but that's not what you guys are going for. You guys have like patchy beards and like pimples and stuff. A roughneck look would just be a super full beard and like hair and shit like that. You know what I mean? And like I said, do the inner work so you're confident holding eye contact and you're comfortable, and you don't come off as like desperate. You feel what I'm saying? When you're not beating your meat 24/7, when you're keeping commitments to yourself, you're accomplishing goals, you're becoming proficient at different skills, you're going to have real confidence and your presence will carry weight. All right. Simple, simple, simple. And like I said, all right, being lean and muscular is masculine and rare. All right. Because when you have muscle, right, it's going to signal like chest and shoulders. It's going to signal like power and capability, forearms, hands and necks, dominance, tactile appeal. Like it's just a natural thing. Like you're going to look like a protector, right? Now, obviously, you're going to have to do MMA and other shit to actually be a protector, but you're going to look like a protector. All right. You're not going to look like these fat, saggy or skinny, fat, lame dudes and shit like that. And no matter what you guys say or what you guys think, at the end of the day, fit bodies are going to be what's sexually stimulating. It's not that deep. Like a lot of people try to overcomplicate it to cope, and it's like it's not that complicated. Like every single dude I've ever seen that said, "Oh my God, I started with chicks." They're either skinny fat with no aura, or they're fat with no aura. It's not like I'm not saying lean dudes who are lean dudes who get haircuts and who have common sense struggling with chicks. I've never seen that before. You see what I'm saying? I've never seen it before. If you're lean, you get haircuts. You're not, you have some common sense. You're not a simp. You're gonna get chicks. Even if you are a simp, you're still gonna get chicks, right? If you're lean and shit like that, you just, they're gonna lose respect after a while. But still, at the end of the day, the real sexual stimulation is gonna come from fit bodies, not from the out of shape niggas. All right. Anyways, programs in the description, one-on-one coaching in the description. If you're trying to get lean, if you're locked in and serious about it, none of that half-assing shit. Listen, like I said, I talked to a lot of you guys, and here's the thing: like, some of you guys are locked in, like I always say, but in reality, like I already know, it's always a numbers game. Like majority of people are just like they're kind of comfortable, and they're like, yeah, I'm ready to come in, I'm ready to come in, and they're like, wait, I would actually have to like change this and change that. Most people don't want to change, and if you don't change, nothing changes. Very, very simple. But anyways, if you're ready to actually change, lock in. Link is in the description, fellas.